Hey guys, Stuart Charles here, HomeStudioBasics.com, helping you make sound decisions. So, today we're finally going to get to review the HIFIMAN Ananda.
Shit.
If you recall, I had done a first impressions video on this some months back and was really impressed with it. The subsequent times that I tried to take it home, it was having cabling issues. They have since fixed it, so I finally got it back, and now I'm ready to do the official review on perhaps the best headphone in the $1,000 price range, and really worth its weight, like worth the price. I definitely consider the Ananda like one of the only headphones that I would consider purchasing, and that's saying a lot. I've demoed close to 100 now, probably in the 80s, 85, 90. It's the first time where I actually looked at it and said to myself, man, I could really see myself owning this one. Of course, the Utopia is the best headphone that I've heard to date so far, but the Ananda comes really close to that. Yeah, let's get right into the sound of it. So honestly, this is probably a near perfect sound signature. Similar to an Odyssey in the bass. Bass is pretty much a flat line. I actually did a measurement of this headphone recently, and I will flash that up on the screen for you. Perfect amount of bass. It works for so many genres, and after after experiencing rolled off bass in a lot of headphones that I've listened to recently, it's a welcome change from that. It's like lots of thump, lots of impact, not rolled off at all. Knows its place. It's not overdone like a bass head headphone, but it just sounds sublime, really. You can enjoy this for so many different things. Hip hop, indie pop. Bass heads are really going to actually appreciate this sound because the thumps in the bass are so articulate. You can hear each individual hit. There's a great sense of texture to the kick drum, and that's what I really noticed in VBND's I Don't Need You. Previously, I did not realize how intricate the bass line to that song was as far as the kick. And so, yeah, the Ananda is really going to put a huge smile on your face. Mid-range is very good. It takes a dip right before 3K and comes back up. Because the bass is more lively and not as rolled off as something like a HD600, the 3K bump doesn't sound too forward or in your face. It's like pretty much the perfect amount of presence, just almost a perfect sound. There's a lot of air. That's one of the main things you'll notice. Very open and airy sounding. Soundstage is pretty good. I didn't actually notice a great deal of width, at least so far from what I've listened to, but just the spacing between instruments and the clarity of said instruments as well as vocals is just absolutely astounding. Listening to some old Minus the Bear tracks, particularly Pachuca Sunrise, sounded just different. Like it had this character to it, this lively not in your face, but this lively intimate character where you could hear stuff going on, like, you know, way back here. There was just so much more depth to the music, as if you could like reach down and grab the sound and pull it back up and know exactly what it was doing. As far as decay, attack, and sustain is just spot on with this headphone. Yeah, mid-range, great. 3K has a bump. Going into the treble now. The treble, this is almost, like I said, this, if not for, it's very slight. Like, it's not a big deal. I don't know. It's definitely noticeable, but there's a slight bit of essiness around 9K, and even before I did the measurement, I heard that slight bit of sibilance in that region, but it wasn't. At first I thought it was because of the headphone hadn't been burned in, because I was pretty much maybe one of the first ones, if not the first one, to take this one home when it first came out. And I don't know when it came out, but I was the first one to take it home. I thought it was burning at first, but since demoing it again, it's been through, you know, a lot of listeners, etc. And so that area was still slightly essy, slightly there's just a bit too much shimmer. And the graph, the measurement that I took back that up, there's a peak, you can see it around 9K. So other than that though, I mean, it's just like a tad metallic, but it's almost like doesn't matter. It's such a minor nitpick, I think. You could always EQ it down a bit, go my Metal 571 here, and just, I would say just a few like a couple of few decibels, not even that much at all, maybe 3 dB down, and it would just sound absolutely perfect. That's why I love this headphone, because there's no glaring weaknesses with it, like anywhere. So let's get into build. The build of it is another reason why. It's just has a fantastic build. It's not too heavy, but it doesn't feel cheap. The ear cups contour to the shape of your ear perfectly. I mean, they actually almost look like, looking down at them, they would fit most ears, I would say, even like your Dumbo-sized ears.
Your Dumbo-sized ears.
I mean, we're getting past Ross Perot status here. If you have Dumbo-sized ears, buy this! Yeah, so... Also, what's really impressed me about HIFIMAN was they updated the build of their headphones. So the yoke is now made of metal. It's a longer piece too. The old 400i and 400s had small pieces of plastic around the headband adjustment. This time around they made it longer, still about the same width. It feels more substantial, more solid, more rugged, like it's not going to break down. I think they also updated the, gosh, what is that piece called that connects the ear cups and the headband? Anyway, they updated that piece as well. It doesn't look so freaking wonky looking like you're extraterrestrial or something. The comfort is better, although, well, no. Let me just finish build. So the build, overall, fantastic. The grills are immediately recognizable. Unmistakable, really. I really actually like the design of the grill. It's striking. Headband adjustment is good. It's a lot easier to adjust than a 400i or a 400s. Went really minimal here, which is much appreciated. The older yokes in the headband, just on the older models, just felt like they were doing too much. Like they tried to just make it too complex looking. I don't know. It was just weird. But this is a much more streamlined design. It just feels amazing. The headband padding, there really is none. It's a thin piece of, I don't know, faux leather slash maybe a little bit of suede on the bottom for the top of your head. Does not dig into your head at all. Like I said, this is a lightweight headphone, great clamp force. There was one issue I had after about an hour, 2 hours. They start to dig, and I think I mentioned this in the first impressions video. They start to dig into this part right here. One of my only complaints about the comfort. Yeah, terminations are 2.5 millimeter, I believe, into each ear cup, and 3.5 millimeter, excuse me, jack at the business end. This model that I'm holding right now does better with a snap-on 1/4-inch adapter. Other than that, pretty much a perfect build. So let's get into comfort. Let's talk about comfort. Just that one small issue here. Other than that, really, really good comfort levels. Your ear's not going to be touching the cloth covering the driver. Cups, not too deep. I mean, I would say that they're in the middle. It almost feels like you're wearing a football helmet at first. Sort of like the Edition X. Yeah, point being, when you put it on your head, it's going to feel like it's almost like hugging your chin. I do find that with Planars and HIFIMANs in particular, it helps to, when it's on your head, to push it forward and down onto your, just so it's kissing the tops of your ears and forward. I find that I think the angled drivers enhance the soundstage and the imaging. Air, detail, clarity, width, spacing, separation, it's all there in spades with the HIFIMAN Ananda. This is absolutely gorgeous headphone. It's an absolutely stunning sounding headphone. Let's talk about amplification. At 25 ohm and 103 decibel sensitivity, these will not really need an amp, which is really cool. You can actually use your phone, although my phone sucks ass. Personally, I need some separate amplification for this beast. Yeah, anything will suffice though, really. E10K, Dragonfly Red, HA2, you know, the usual suspects. So yeah, I was using a JDS Labs Element with Tidal, FLAC, and master files. An Objective 2 would be good for a desktop starter solution if you don't want to spend too much money. That's a perfect headphone amp. Sounds very similar to an Element, but just less power, even though it provides a lot, almost more power than you would ever need. don't worry about which amp you go with. It's going to sound fine with anything basically. Because of its low impedance and high sensitivity, doesn't need much power from an amp, and does not resist power. What about genre pairing? Pretty much anything, friend. This headphone will sound great with everything. This is why it's such an easy recommendation. It's why it's the perfect open back planar magnetic headphone that everybody should get a chance to listen to. This is the quintessential audiophile experience above that mid-tier price range. I think HD600, HD650, HIFIMAN Sundar, HIFIMAN HE400i, and 400S. Definitely a step up from those types of headphones. It doesn't piss all over the law of diminishing returns, but it is a clear upgrade and worth the investment if you're an audiophile, if you want to take that next step. Most headphones above, $300 to $500, I would just say I would pass on almost. But this one is a clear exception to that rule. Yeah, lightweight planar magnetic is pretty much an oxymoron. This is one of the few times where I can really make an outright recommendation to just buy this headphone. If you're on the fence about it, you're not going to be sorry. This is clearly a worthwhile investment and a headphone that I might actually purchase in the future. So that's about it for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my growing channel. Let me know what I can do to improve. Let me know what I do well. And with that,
Check 1 2. I hope you enjoyed this review too. It was brought to you by Stu. Who? Me, the lyrical G. Empirical dreams slide through like dream. PC gaming, letting off steam. Got bars for days like a prison inmate. A misdemeanor's fate, no debate. When I wake up, okay, start my day with a cup and I pray I don't faint. I'm a saint of the Most High God. Of the Most High God.
personally, I need some separate amplification. Personally, I need some separate amplification. Personally, I need some separate